It's an honor. Oops, it wasn't recording. So I think now that we have started to record, I'll just say thank you to everybody who has joined. Thank you so much to Keith for joining us. And
Out of the seven courses, four are English and the three are
apologies for that. Apologies for that. Um, Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. For those of you who don't know me, I'm not so frequently here as part of the YEM cohort, but my name is Mariam, and I was one of the initial members of the YEM movement, and I started this with Mam Noor back in the day. We have Mr. Keith here. Keith, thank you so much for joining us from all the way from Baku, Azerbaijan. Keith has, I mean, if we look at his introduction, which is really, really colorful and really, really diverse, I would say that he has all the experience and he has all the abilities that all of you young people who are aspiring entrepreneurs might need and might need to observe and get some advice from an expert who has done it himself at a very young age. So this module is going to be a business blueprint module. And Keith, who is the founder and CEO of Minet, if I'm pronouncing it right, Minet Stream, and it's a platform based on fostering dynamic ecosystem where creativity, technology, and business development converge. So it's all thing that YEM and MindWorks also stands for, making all of these things accessible for youth and developing youth and their creativity towards technology and business development. Over to you, Keith.
Okay, thank you, Mariam, for the introduction. Hello to everyone. And it's an honor actually to work with you guys. But my frame of thought is always something that is different in my approach of work. I believe that all of us are still learning and we're open to learn. And this is something that you guys are going to learn throughout your journey in building brands, startups, and everything like that. It gets quite boring at some point in time. It's quite scary. So it's a lot of emotions that you channel in when you're trying to build something great. So we're going to start off our session with a very, very basic kickoff to what branding is. And we're going to end it with hopefully something new and creative. So when I was preparing for this session, I thought maybe we could do it a little bit different. We need to bring in a bit of reality of what branding is, and at the same time, make it theoretically possible to combine the both of them. So just give me a moment. I'm going to share my screen right now. Okay, can we see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with a ton of questions just for us to interact, for me to get an understanding, and hopefully for us to learn something new. So the first thing you need to know about building a brand or in any business that you're going to venture is that ordinary pursuits are it's your purpose, right? It's everyone's purpose to pursue something, to be great at something that you're building. But impossible pursuits is what you're destined to do. You want to bring a whole different idea that doesn't exist. So it takes a lot for you to be audacious, to sort of, bring it in together. So I have a couple of questions for the audience, and very simple question. So first one being, what is a brand? What do we think a brand is, if we're to say it in 2 sentences?
Guys, feel free to use chat or raise your hand and open your mic.
I'm not sure. Hear me, but I think it's more of like an identity of a service or a product.
Okay. So an identity, a
Yes, Iram.
service. Sorry?
Iram wants to speak. Yes, Iram, you can go
Okay,
ahead.
please go ahead.
I don't think we can hear Iram. Iram, if you want to write in the chat, that's fine as well.
Yeah. And also, maybe Miriam, if you could help me, I won't be able to see the chat, so maybe help me convey the messages so we could.
Sure. Not a
Yeah.
problem.
All right.
Yes, Mazen, you can speak.
Personally, I feel a brand is like a social construct of symbolic and psychological meaning that it exists in the minds of the consumers, the society, and the stakeholders. It's a fusion of all these different things, such as consumer behavior marketing theory. I study economics, that's why I know these terminologies. So I feel that it's a merger of all of that.
Okay. That's actually quite that's quite the answer. I'm not gonna lie. Very direct to the point. But the fundamental thing, and everyone is correct, by the way, everything you have to say is correct, but you missed the most fundamental thing, is that a brand is you above everything. It's how you see the world and what you want to bring into reality. Because as we'll see as we go on, is that when you're building a brand, you're kind of letting out bits of your cognitive function, how you process, how you see things out there. Some people are into more flashy designs, so you'd have a lot more color. It says a lot about your personality also, which is something you said, which is quite true. But the fundamental thing is that the brand will relay kind of your voice out there, what you're trying to say, which is very important, because the louder your voice is, the more you attract people. So, and you dictate how the beauty of the brand is going to be based on how you take it out. So, next question, why does this even matter? Why should your brand matter? So, I'm all ears. Why do you think it matters to have a brand in the first place?
I think because it conveys like a story of your product and your service. Without a brand, essentially, you might not be able to connect that well with customers or clients.
True. Anyone else?
Okay, someone wrote in the chat that to build a trust, and someone wrote to that to have a unique proposition in the market, and someone wrote because people can relate that with something positive maybe. And yes, Fajar, if you want to say something, you can please open your mic.
So technically, to understand the vibe you give off to the audience.
Okay. Honestly, I'd say you guys are quite the bright bunch. I should be taking notes from you. It should be the complete opposite, because it's everything is pinpoint. Everything is pinpoint. And sorry, the host asked you to start. Everything is pinpoint. Okay. Everything is pinpoint. Everything is accurate in what you're saying. But why does it matter? Your brand kind of allows you to give off your core values, okay? These are the things that are going to define how your brand is going to grow into the future, how it's going to become the stakeholder to how you get customers, and if you die or live, if your company makes it to the threshold that you wanted to get to. Because the truth is, everything is going to dissipate. Like, your company might not be active tomorrow. Your startup might not be active tomorrow, but the only thing that remains that actually keeps it flowing is the core value. I can give you some examples of this here. So when we look at Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola is no different from Pepsi. I hope I'm not offending anyone that is a Pepsi guy, but it's really quite hard to tell the difference between the both of them. But when you look at Coca-Cola, it combines every single aspect of what we were talking about. It tells a story, all right? But you'll notice one thing. Coca-Cola is seen not just as a drink, but it's a drink that brings a family together. You have big family gatherings, and you'll find yourself opening a bottle of Coke. It signifies happiness. It tells a story of more than a brand. It's just another sugary drink, but it's beyond that. This is why it matters, the core value that we put into it. So when you build your brand, you put in your core values into it to say, okay, I'm trying to build something that is going to be revolutionary, but then you have to ask yourself how, why, okay? And moving on to our next session, I have a very difficult question to ask, and if I'm curious to see this seminar that we're going to be doing together is just for us to challenge each other to grow and possibly build something new and exciting in the process. So my very last question, why do you think the PPT looks like this? Like, why is it bland? Why is it boring? Does anyone have a clue? I mean, it could have been fancy or flashy, but why do you think it's like that?
Yes, Mazen, go ahead.
I feel the more simplistic the thing is, the more attention it would attract, because if it's too much fancy, people would lose focus on what the main purpose is. So I feel you kept it simple to make sure that the key information is, reaches the audience properly. That's what I feel.
Okay, close. Anyone else?
Yes, Ramla.
I feel that the purpose of this session is to brand something together. So if you had already put in the visuals and everything, you would have already put forward your brand.
Okay.
And when we see like a blank PPT, it's like we can build something together and we can brand it into something that we want to convey.
Okay, that is true. Anyone else?
Yes, Fajar.
Because technically, when you have it something fancy and like decorative, you're putting your personality in it. If you are
Okay.
going to make it bland, if you're going to make it boring, that's where the creativity comes in, where other people can contribute to their own ideas.
Okay. Well, that is actually true. Everyone is correct. Okay. But I'm going to challenge you a bit right now, is that when you start your brand, when you build it, right? You put aspects of your personality like we've spoken about it, but everything starts off just like this, a blank canvas. It's just a bunch of words that you're trying to fit together. And what sets your brand aside is how you imagine moving forward. Okay. I can give you a prime example. It's Christmas, or a festive holiday, and there's gifts, right? And I realized this with my nephews is that we bought him this very big bicycle, and it came in a box. So everything was there. He was all excited about it, and would think that, he's excited about the bicycle because, it's going to be a lot of noise for us and he's going to be up and down. But that wasn't it. It was the box. The kid literally left the bicycle, right? And went to play with the box because it was big and it was everything. And it was just a simple box. Okay. And that taught me quite a lot, is that just like this canvas, when you're building a brand, it is just a plain canvas. There's nothing you can do, but within the spectrum, your imagination is limitless. This could be anything you want it to be. You can manipulate the words. You can make it pretty much anything. Okay, so that's the whole approach with this here. And you're very right to say that we're building something together, because when you're building a brand, you take the first initial steps, but then it becomes an agglomeration of all your emotions or all the thoughts of those people that are around you, kind of forge it into the thing that you wanted to become. And you will notice that brands go through a whole lifeline. If you could see the first logo of Yamaha, you'd be quite surprised to what it is now. It was, I think, a mermaid, if I'm not mistaken, kind of like a siren, but now it's just like the three dots or the three lines on it. So a brand grows with you. And contrary to popular belief is that your brand is going to change along with you. That's why I said first thing is that it's your personality. Like this boring canvas, it's going to slowly start to come to life as we imagine and we build. These are like the core principles of actually ensuring that you start off with your brand or your startup ideas, how you imagine it to be. If you limit your imagination, and then it'll just be a boring blank canvas. But if you allow your imagination to flow into your brand along with your emotions and core values, then you've built something quite amazing. So that takes us to our next stage, okay? This is basically answering some of the questions I had made earlier on. So what is a brand really? Okay, like we discussed before, it's not a logo. It's more than a logo. It embodies everything that you are trying to give out into the public. It's memories, it's everything that you hold. It's something unique. That's the most important thing. Your brand is not going to be a replica of Coca-Cola, Nike, or Adidas. It's going to be something that you're bringing into this world. It cannot be replaced by anything else. So these are very essential things that you'll come to learn when you're building a brand. And then the true question is, how do we start, right? Is that something that we're going to encounter a lot? So this is my question to you. I want to make this as an open discussion. How do you think we should start building a brand? What's our first stages? Does anyone have a clue? Yeah, shoot.
We should look around us for problems that we think are out there and try to 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 wonder how we could make this world a better place, like what we want to contribute.
I agree with you 100%. That is accurate. You need to find a problem first, right? And see what you want to build with that. I agree with you 100%. I think another hand is up. Shoot.
Yeah, I feel it's like a brand discovery about who are you. We should do an introspection phase, where we try to understand the clarity of our purpose. I totally agree here. Identify why we exist beyond making money, because it's our belief, it's our values, it's how we want to contribute through our services that's going to, differentiate us from other people. Then obviously in the long run it's identifying the audience and things like that through that introspection.
Fantastic stuff. I totally agree with you. And these are the things that you're going to encounter. And I'll tell you something. Sorry, I think you have a hand up also, Bishu. Okay.
Yeah,
Rami, you
okay.
can ask a
Yeah,
question.
sure.
Sorry?
Uh, sure. Yeah, so I was thinking that a brand is probably something that we can figure out what if we have an idea and bring it to life in a way that we can, impact, we can make it socially, impactable,
Mm-hmm.
help people, help ourselves, bring our ideas live, and, make it into something that is tangible.
Yeah, I think that's quite right. That is 100% right. Everyone is on the exact same line of thought, is that you can make it molded into what you want it to be. And initially you're solving a problem and you're developing from that problem. And I want to, it's a very crucial lesson that we're going to be learning as we go about building our brand. Sorry, just a moment. Sorry, just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. Laptop was about to die. So what I'm trying to say is that one thing that you'll realize as you're building a brand is that um you can't have hubris. You can't think you know everything when you're going into whatever venture you're going in. You have to be open to learn. That's how your brand constantly keeps to grow. You have to be able to listen to what the consumers want, what you want at the same time, and not discredit yourself in the process. Okay. I'll tell you a very fascinating thing also that is very essential is the story. Okay. What story are we trying to convey into the public? What are we trying to say about ourselves? These are all the core aspects of it. A good example of this here is how Walt Disney came up with Disneyland and how the whole process went. How did he go about the process? Is that they had a very innovative way of thinking when building the brand and what they wanted the brand to be. Um, they would occasionally let in blind experts. This is someone that does not know your brand whatsoever. Okay. Because when you're building your brand, it's very easy to be stuck in the same river of thought where you can't really come out of your thinking. And at the same time, you've portrayed this very strong identity of your brand because your brand is always going to look beautiful to you. It's your creation. But you can't get stuck in that river of thinking because you need to understand, okay, when I show this logo, what do people think? What do they capture for it? So it takes us to the key points. What does it stand for? What do I want? What is my story that I'm trying to say? Am I trying to say that my startup is going to be the next revolutionary thing? But how am I saying it? What does my logo say? And what do the colors mean? I don't think I included this onto the slides, but I will give you insight, is that colors matter. There's something called color psychology when you're building a brand. For example, green gives off a more peaceful growth type of vibe. So everyone is going to be able to understand, okay, this is where this is going. White gives off tranquil, peace, trust. Red showcases power, dominance. So brands will always sort of combine these core elements into it. Your color psychology matters the most. It kind of speaks volume of what you're doing. For example, I think blue that you'll mostly see with the Facebook is it symbolizes trust. Your investment here is worthy of it. So it kind of portrays into the mind. Sorry. Uh, it kind of portrays into the mind everything that you're going to be saying. Okay. So just a curious question. Does anyone in the audience sort of have like a dream? What is your dream right now? Everyone is heading a specific direction, and let's see if we can turn that dream into a brand by the end of our discussion. So whoever's courageous enough, please tell me what is your biggest dream, and let's make it a brand. We can actually practice and make it something. Yep, shoot. I can't hear you. Sorry.
Franco,
No.
I cannot hear you. Can you try reconnecting again?
Okay.
Till then,
Um.
I'll share my idea that I do have for a sort of my dream. It's basically a health app that I'm working on myself. Since
Okay.
I've been through personal trauma of uh, seeing your parents go through something difficult. So in that situation, we require blood donation. So I come from a country where when we require blood donations, there's not such a strong platform to communicate that other than
Mm-hmm.
social media stories to portray that we need blood donation. This person requires that. So in that situation, I'm sort of developing a community for the citizens of Pakistan where they can all have connections. They can see, they'll be notified based on their regions which area requires blood donation, so people can be immediately notified instead of a delay in that information. That could end up
Fantastic.
saving crucial lives. So that's my sort of passion.
Okay, well, that's pretty fantastic and ambitious of you. So I think that that is a big step, young man. You keep going, and it's the first and hardest part is being courageous about it, to say this is my dream. You're on a very good path. Um, so you're saying health app, right? If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
All right. So I'll just add on anyone else. So for now we have a health app. I'm sure we're gonna have every industry very soon. So yep, I see a hand up. If Asif, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm saying it right.
Technically, I want to create a more media literate society.
Okay.
That's my dream.
Can you give me a bit more context?
With nowadays, with AI and propaganda, spreading as fast as possible, I would like to create tools, or I would like to teach society ways to combat this propaganda, to combat AI, those things.
Oh,
This, so that we could have our own ideas rather than being influenced by others.
okay. That's a revolutionary stance, yeah? So your dream is to kind of bring up, you see, very importantly,
I guess.
yeah, that's quite the strong stance and a very strong dream. It's revolutionary in thinking. So, anyone else have another example? I'm gonna take into, I'll call it the war against AI. We'll make it fun as we go along. Don't worry. So, yeah.
So Keith, one member in the chat wrote that their idea was a teen swap skill agency, where a bunch
A
of
what?
teens can
Sorry?
a teen skill swap agency where
Okay.
teens can barter skills. They could teach someone on how to crochet in return for guiding them about public speaking skills and everyone. So just swapping skills together.
Okay. Fantastic.
So yeah, that's their idea.
Okay. So, anyone else with an idea? Okay, so we're going to go into question 2 right now. We've isolated 3 core ideas and we're going to turn them into brands. And I'm sort of going to break down to you how we do this. We have the health app. We have the war on AI. Don't worry, we'll give it a fantastic name. And then we have the teen skill swap. Okay, so we'll make it together. So what future do we want to create? That's where we at right now. Is the second question. Very tough question to analyze. From what I've got, Teen Skill Swap wants to kind of make a world where exchanging knowledge is easy. It's not so difficult. And the one AI is to kind of bring an independent thinking for humanity and kind of bring back those olden day values, which is pretty rare for our generation because trust me, we all depend on AI in ways that we cannot even fathom, but it's very important to kind of combine the two. So I'm definitely with you on that one. And then we have the revolutionary health app. Okay. So these are our 3 samples that we're going to be using. Let's go to, okay, where is he? Yeah, all right. 1 second. Opa. Okay, now it's working. Okay, all right. So guys, with our 2 samples, this is what we're gonna find. We're gonna be put in two different groups, okay? So I need some volunteers. How many are we? Can someone tell me how many we are on the chat?
There's 29 of us.
29.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this pretty interesting. I was gonna keep talking on and on about this here, but there's ways we can do it that we can all learn together and kind of innovate. So I'm trying to make this canvas that was really boring and very planned into something that can come into life and that we could use. So I need volunteers. I need people that are going to say, we're going to be the crowd and we already have our 3 founders, but I'm gonna need more people on the founders team. So if let's put in a bit of teamwork, let's work together. So those who want to be a part of the crowd, you pick number 1. Those who are going to be in the founders side, you pick number 2. And the 3 leads that we're going to have are the 3 people that spoke of their dreams. Is everyone okay with that? Does everyone understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So can someone just help me? I can't really kick the chat. Wait, I think I can without. Okay. So who's gonna be who's going to be on the crowd? Any volunteers? Okay, so founders, we have 1. Hassan, okay. Okay. Adi, 1. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is what we're gonna do to our 3 brands that are out there. Okay. We're gonna think out of the box. This is gonna teach us the most important part of building our brand. We're gonna use something called first principles, which is breaking down an idea to its most fundamental core. So I'm gonna work with the 3 brand ideas. Okay. So we'll start off with the health app. Let's break it down to its most fundamental core. Your dream is to help, right? Help people in terms of health, wellness, and alert
Yes,
them, right?
exactly.
Okay. So that's like the first fundamental. Now we ask ourselves, how do we do that? What's the type of story we want to tell, right? So we break down that story, right, with imagination. So how do we go about this? We say, imagine, in my mind, I imagine a situation where we have an elderly person in the countryside, and it's already hard as an elderly person to navigate the whole situation. So I would imagine an easy access for them to alert any official, like in a social gathering, to say, okay, everyone knows that this is an elderly person that's living there. So we would initially create a system that allows for everyone to get an alert in case something happens. She can check in every day because elderly people are not very technocentric like we are. She checks in every day. She clicks on the app. That's to say, I'm okay. So we can track her pattern. When she's feeling down, we also track, okay, this is how it's looking. So we've sort of built a fundamental story. Okay. So can you see from the story what we've gathered? Help, track. Okay. Those are 2
Yes,
things already.
yeah.
Okay. So let's brainstorm together. How can we turn help and track into a tagline for your brand? And what name can we give it?
That's a good way to approach it. For the tagline, something could work like track your health, protect your heart, something like that.
Mhm.
Or like if you want to keep it short, the path where health meets intelligence, something like that.
Mhm.
Show that there's a track system of health. So I feel this
Fantastic stuff.
could that could be a good way to approach that.
Yeah, very fantastic stuff. I like your approach because look, while you describe, you see that the stages of how we're thinking are changing, and we have our crowd with us also because you're gonna have to pitch this idea to them. I'm gonna help you with the first fundamentals, okay? We're gonna pause our psychology, how we think. In the process of your speaking, okay, you said intelligent, okay, you said track, and you said health, okay? So we already have health, okay, intelligent, health tracker. Okay. It's not going to be the name, but it's too long. We can make it short. If we had more time, would dive deep in. So we have intelligent health tracker, right? Your safety beacon, because it makes you feel safe, as an example. But you can tell me, what do you think? How would you go about it? We already have a name. We need a tagline.
You're asking about working on the tagline, right?
Yeah, we have a name, a hypothetical name, intelligent health tracker. Okay. Now we need
Yeah,
the tagline to complete the whole image. And then we'll sell it to the crowd. We'll see how they feel, what they have to say about it.
something like precision in every heartbeat.
Lovely. Say that again.
Precision in every heartbeat.
Precision in every heartbeat. Okay. In every heartbeat. You've done the very first principles of creating your brand. You've created a general idea and image just from your words and how you were able to understand it. What does this say? Now that you understand what your brand is, it's easy for you to sell it to the crowd. Okay, it's easy for you to explain it. It's easy for you to portray your vision. Hence why the most fundamental step before you actually build the brand is understanding your dream and then connecting your dream to the solution that you want to have, and then connecting your solution that you want to have to the people you're trying to help, and then making it into one ecosystem. So the floor is yours. You're going to pitch your brand. Same thing. Don't forget, fundamentals is in your story, your name, your tagline, core values, and who you are. Just a combination of our lessons till now. So let's go for it. Are you ready?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so with my app, what I've initially thought of calling it, I have a name also in mind before we
Okay.
had this session. It's called Vitals.
Okay.
So what I've imagined that Vitals is a world, in a world where every heartbeat is monitored, every symptom is tracked before it can escalate, and every patient is realizes that they'll receive the care that is going to be powerful, proactive, and personalized. So
Mm-hmm.
this app that is supposed to be your all-in-one heart companion, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
connect you with doctors. It's going to track you in real time, your real time progress. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
link you with blood banks and emergency services. So it's
Okay.
built for the patients, powered by AI, and designed to change lives where health meets intelligence.
Beautiful stuff where health meets intelligence. Okay, now that is a whole beautiful concept. I agree with you. Very sharp, audacious, innovative. I commend your thinking. That is, you're onto something great. That's the most important thing you should know, that you're onto something great. But how would you sell it to the crowd? How would you make all those complex words something simple in 3 sentences? How would you pitch it? The crowd wants to understand, because now look, it's us versus them. We're founders. We have a crowd. We have to sell it to them. How do you think you'd explain to them in 3 sentences only? Of course, the reason I asked this, and everything is backed by a lesson. In some circumstances, you will only have 5 minutes only. And we love our brands. We can go on and on about them, but we only have 5 minutes, especially with Gen Z. Everything is lightning fast. Okay? So like shoot, three
I,
sentences, sell it to the crowd.
what I would say is that every 40 seconds, someone suffers a heart attack, and many don't, get in time to help them. So
Mm-hmm.
Vitals would be a smart app that would track your vitals, would connect you to doctors, and alert your loved ones in emergencies. So if you decide to support us, you'll be joining us in building a future where every heartbeat is protected, because health should never wait.
Fantastic. So I'm neutral. Crowd, who's in the crowd? Can someone that was in the crowd tell me what they understood and how they felt about it? Is a question, right? Wait, let me try to check this chat. You
Am I audible?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So I think it's a wonderful idea, but my only concern might be that the people that are most likely to suffer heart attacks are also those which don't know that they might be having some sort of ailment. For example, there's been a recent trend where most people suffering from heart attacks have been 25 to 35-year-olds, which are stressed in the workplace, uh, which basically deem themselves that they're physically fit. So how would you convince them that you should also be downloading your app and not just our elderlies? Because heart ailment is usually associated with old people having like heart conditions. So how would you like talk to this entire working class of these corporate people who think they are the physically best and that there have been so many cases of them just having a heart attack and like dying on the spot without any sort of care? So that would be my only question.
Fantastic stuff. It takes us back to our very first lesson. When you're building a brand, you got to be open to learn. Now you have a clear picture of your brand. You know what you wanted when you're speaking about it. And now you have insight from your audience. Okay. So now, what do you do next? Okay. Where do you find your niche in this whole process? How would you go about it?
I feel there's a need to improvise. I totally understand Ramla's question, and what I feel, because I've actually pitched this idea to, real life sharks in
Mm-hmm.
Pakistan. So I do have a good response to that question, and that is through educational notifications through the app. The once one installs the app, it's obviously going to share proper research articles, but keeping in mind it's Gen Z and not everyone's going to read the articles completely. It's going to be a one or two liner with an important statistic that just pops up like a notification that 40% of people suffer from heart attack at this age. Could, could that possibly be you? If you're afraid, reach out to us. So that would prompt the user to sort of have a worry that what if we're the next person that suffers a heart attack. So they could click that notification. It would then tie them up to professionals, and then those professionals can obviously guide them regarding any uh, precautions that they need to take, or could tell them that you need to get a scan or something to just check yourself up. So that's what I feel would be a way to improvise the app.
Okay. Before I see a hand is risen, I want to tell you another core fundamental because we're going to be learning as we're going. Most essential thing is she proposed a challenge to you, right? How will I know? You have real life experience, okay? It's a key point that you should go in is adaptability. What if, okay? What if your product, this is why I tell you that product evolves with the cycle. Remember, from our first conversation when we all started, product evolves from the cycle. It has its own changes, its personality changes, its narratives along, but the core values stay. That's something we already know. Okay. But what if your product sold longer life than just a specific segment? Okay. What if you put into tune, because now you want to appeal for old people at the same time you don't to lose the market for younger people, right? What if you sold off on the health benefits? Okay. How to keep your heart alive at the same time you can monitor your heart. Okay. So tips and suggestions every single day. This is something that can be read into even by the youngest kid. So adapting to the challenge is also important. You got to put yourself out of your river of thinking into the river of thinking of your customer, but not so far that you lose what you want to bring out. At the same time, always think what if, adapt your product as you move on, adapt the brand of it. So we went from one core transaction, and core transactions are very important. It says, what do we do? Your core transactions are AI, health, and speed, from what I was able to understand, right? That's what it is. But now you can adjust. How? You can add insights and education, right? What if based on the vital reading, like you said, it's vital, it's a need every single day. Water is a need, it's a necessity. You're vital. You track your water consumption every day. When you wake up, you need 8 glasses of water to be functional, for example. That makes it a part of vital. So you create needs base for everything that everyone that's going to be consuming your product is going to need. Okay? So vital, name says important, it says needs. So you'd focus on everything. It's important to track your heart. It's important to keep a healthy diet. Most people don't know how to do this, especially young people. We're so frantic moving up and down that just cola is enough or just a sandwich, but that's not what our vitals need. They need a whole lot more care. So can you see how you swap river of thinking from the person, from your perspective as a founder and the perspective of the crowd? You can combine both of them at the same time, be creative and maintain what you're looking for. I don't know if this was insightful. Do you have any more thoughts? What do you think?
It was pretty insightful. Yeah, I understand, how to approach things from different perspectives, how challenges that we can face whilst launching our app can, tend to sort of change things because as you mentioned, it's a cycle and we need to adapt it for the cycle. So yeah, I totally understand what you're getting to.
Exactly. Fantastic stuff. Your brand is always growing as it develops an identity. It starts off as a baby, and then some point in time it becomes an adult where it kind of takes care of itself. Okay. So anyone else in the crowd want to say anything? If not, we're going to the controversial topic. This one I know is going to take us very long. It's war on AI. So the founder of war on AI is, do you have anything? So we start our process. What do you have in mind?
So are we like gonna start with the brand name and the tagline? Like the
Yeah, we're gonna go
foundation?
same pattern, just different because it's a different topic.
Hmm.
So
So
what do you
I've
have in
thought
mind?
of some titles.
Yeah,
Um, Real or Bait as the brand name,
come again. Real
something
obey.
like that. Yeah, Real or Bait, as
Okay,
if you've been baited into believing it's real, even though it's AI.
okay.
AI or like the tagline, I don't know, something to distinguish facts from fiction,
Uh-huh.
something like that.
Facts.
Because otherwise the foundation would be to, I have like either two ideas inside this. Either we train through the gamification process, we train the users into getting a more developed media literate mindset, or
Yeah.
we use AI to combat AI. As
Okay,
in we train AI to detect AI. So as people are scrolling through their feed or they're going through Instagram or anywhere else, they can like easily check whether or not what they're receiving is or not.
okay. Quite revolutionary. What you're trying to solve is a catastrophe of misinformation that we clearly deal with. We don't know what is true in this day and age or what is happening. At the same time, AI is
Mhm.
making it very possible to propagate this issue. So I have a strong grasp of this. Okay, so let's start off.
And especially the issue,
Yep.
especially the issue is that when we're scrolling through Instagram, we only take like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and we won't always want to recheck whether or not this is real or not. Like for
True.
every reel, for every post, do we always have to check? It's going to be way too much time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
that's the
psychometrics, right?
foundation and the
And
okay.
psychometrics. Let's start our brand development right now. Okay, let's go into the name. Real or fake or real or bait? Which one is it? I just want to make sure
Mm.
I'm getting it right.
It's real or bait.
Real or bait.
Something
Okay.
like that to make something quirky or something.
Okay. What we in pursuit of is people to be knowledgeable, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
to
you'd
make
have
them
two
understand more.
options. Sorry?
To make them understand more and stuff.
Yeah. So you'd have two options in this case, right? Is basically R,
Yeah.
you can either go R.R, which is like what's it called? I forget. But most people go with just like the letters that form the whole meaning of it if you wanted to keep R and R. But you can also go a different route. What is a phrase for insight or knowledge in I'm not I just want to sorry, I want to make sure that I know this. In Pakistan, you guys speak Urdu, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. What is
Yeah.
how would we say knowledge in Urdu as an example? Just one word. Is a specific way of saying it in one word?
Knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
malumat. That's what
Okay.
I think, because I'm not that much proficient in Urdu
You could
actually.
also say it's called ilm.
It's called what? Sorry?
Ilm.
Ill.
ILM. Ilm.
Okay. Okay. So look, core fundamentals of branding, depending on how you want to go. If you have really long words, you break them down into syllables, they kind of form their own type of thing. For example, one of my first startup companies that I created was called GAP, which is GYAP. But in totality, it stood for Global Youth Aspiration Program, which was very long for me to put on a t-shirt. So you kind of have those choices. Or you think outside of the box. How you going to sell the product, or what identity you want to create for it? Because what I got from you is that we want something to be a knowledge-based hub where you can actually know these things. We could use AI for good to stop everything that is bad that is happening through AI. So we have a versus situation. So for example, you have options. You just need one keyword that is there, right? In Portuguese, we have inteligencia. This is intelligence, as an example. We have conhecimento. This means knowledge. And you're not held to one language. The reason I asked the language is because you can transition your idea, your name brand, into different languages, and you create something completely different. Okay. For example, I asked what it meant in Urdu because that could sell outside of Pakistan. At the same time, become something that is easily identifiable to the Pakistani like knowledge. It'd be like, oh, okay, so this is what this means. I'd instantly get it. Are you with me?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. To make
Okay.
something more unique, but yet unique to the outsiders, but local for the nationals.
Exactly. Exactly. So now we go into a tagline. You have a very short name. Cool. Now we need to build a tagline. We go for what's the core value that you're trying to sell, right? Is the truth. You want people to know the truth. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. You either go in pursuit of the truth or forging reality or something along those lines. You bring in the core element that you're trying to develop. So let's give it a rerun. If you had to create your tagline based on, we already know that it's something that has to do with knowledge, and that's where we're going. So what would we want the truth, right? What would be our
Yeah.
tagline that says that? What do you think? Like let's stick in the spectrum of truth. What tagline can we forge? It can also be three different words. You're not bound to, so it can be truth, honesty, loyalty. That's already enough in a tagline. So it doesn't have to be a sentence. So what would you go for?
Oh, truth from the fiction, facts from fiction.
Okay.
You get something like that.
Okay. So just like that, your brand has developed its own sense of identity. This is the whole ideation process that you go to. Very critical questions you need to ask yourself. And at the same time, you're going to receive quite the critical questions um, from the crowd. So we're going to open your idea now to the crowd, and then I have also suggestions. There's always though, I'm going to have a what if section like I did before. So let's open it out to the crowd. Does anyone, you can sell your product now, your idea and your brand, and let's see what the crowd has to say.
Right. So Island is always dedicated into what do you call it? Into training the audience, into training society to be more aware of what they're consuming, to understand what they've been giving. So we make that easier through our brand, through our product.
Well
That's all I
spoken.
got right now.
Yeah, well spoken. Not bad for a first hinge. It's pretty good. Does anyone in the crowd have anything to say? Uh, okay. All right. I'll go in some questions. So, how exactly do you intend to do this? I mean, news outlets are very big and there's always something new coming up. How would you be able, because you can't physically be in every part of the world, okay? At the same time, you can't control the narrative all the time. So how would you proceed to differentiating truth from fiction, sorry? How would you go about it?
So technically, we're trying to gamify the basic process
Mm-hmm.
of telling the audience the basic skills into identifying the media literacy skills technically.
Mm-hmm.
And regarding new media, we'll try to keep it updated. We like have dedicated teams, I guess, to check for extra news, to check for this. Otherwise, what we intend to do is give you the basic skills,
Mm-hmm.
give you the foundation for you to go and check it out in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna hit you with the what if. What we're dealing with now in your brand is emotional intelligence and understanding. Misinformation comes from a lack of understanding. So you provide the tools for ensuring people have a stronger understanding of the information that's being relayed. And emotional intelligence to differentiate what is real from what is fake, because people can get aggravated about situations that they have no clue about because there's a lack of emotional intelligence. So fundamentally, you'd be teaching two core skills in your brand. And then when we dig into functionality, we want to make it easy for it to be understood and out there. And how could we use AI? Basically, you train a model to kind of break down what the news is, the agenda, the psychological edges of it. So you go into another field of psychology. So AI would be trained to kind of break down the whole idea. Okay, if you get a news article and you're trying to understand what is the endpoint of it, it would sort of summarize key areas of what the tone of voice meant and what it possibly could mean, and then versus actual peer, like what's it called, peer-reviewed articles as an example. So you train it based on fake input and based on real input for it to be able to differentiate both of them. So people could actually input what they were able to understand, and the AI could translate those here based on the standard and the norm that you're sort of after. So you can use AI for positive is where I'm trying to get at, is that if you're able to match it with human capacity and thinking and how we process and see the world, then you've created human capital that is powered by AI, or AI powered by human capital, as an example. So your brand, in the process of building your brand, you got to identify what is the core transactions. And these core transactions that are new is what shapes new categories that are coming up. Okay. I'll make an example from the health app. We went into education and insight, but that wasn't where the core was. From you, we went into emotional intelligence and understanding and psychology. So your brand sort of morphs in, you understand, and you form new categories from it, and it builds a new sort of energy and it transforms as it goes. Okay? Do you have any questions?
Mhm. No, I get it.
Any additions? Is there anything you'd like to add on?
Technically, at first, the brand would be like small, focusing on one small area.
Okay.
Then it would expand like other areas, like to
Mm-hmm.
where we're going to go into other areas, as in checking what the news wants us to tell us. First, we're going to go through what is AI, which one is
Okay.
AI, which one is not AI, which media is AI, which one is not. Then we'll go through what message is it trying to replicate as the brand expands. So like one step at a
Okay.
time, this is how I do it, I guess.
Exactly. And one thing you will learn is that I've seen with the majority of you guys here is that you guys have already traced out roadmaps. You know where you're going, you know how you want to go about it. But just core elements is how you tell the story, how you transform the narrative, and how you relate to the crowd as a founder and vice versa. There's always a what if junction in there because combining those two categories, sometimes you get lost in the crowd or you get lost in founders' hubris, which is very difficult to come out of. And you start to question yourself. Once you question yourself, you question your brand, and then everything starts to plummet, going down. So I think we're on to Teen Skill Swap. Is the founder of Teen Skill Swap with us?
All right, so Keith, the next member who's supposed to speak, their mic is causing some issues. So if you don't mind, I'll read it from the group chat. All right.
Yeah, please do, please do.
Perfect. So she says that here's something I had in mind for the skill swap company.
Mm-hmm,
Brand name either Tria, which is Latin for trade, or Kivo, which
mm-hmm,
means exchange and transfer.
mm-hmm,
So the tagline could be keyword, skill it, swap it.
mm-hmm,
And her pitching it in 3 sentences would be that Kivo slash Traya, whatever name she chooses, is
mm-hmm,
the underground market or teen genius, comma, no money, just pure skill trades.
mm-hmm,
Designed for guitar lessons, question mark, coding for poetry edits, question mark, if you can teach it, you can trade it. Kivo
mm-hmm.
flips the script on learning because your talent wasn't meant to sit still.
Wow,
And I
that
feel
that
that's
is
such a strong approach, yeah.
that is that is quite, I agree with you. That is quite a very strong approach and very immaculately put well. So we can trace the story, but I just want to ask something to the founder. Let's go with Kivo. I like how Kivo sounds. It's quite amazing. So I have, it's even hard to formulate a question to challenge this. This is actually well put together. Okay. So for the founder of Kivo, what do you have in mind? Is this a platform? Is this an app? Is it door-to-door business? How would you put the functionality of it? Because as is, it's something that is selling. You have the whole story, you get the whole idea in it. So how would you go about it? Would you go platform or okay?
She said that it's an online platform that would connect people from across the world.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And I like one thing, yeah, most probably an app. Yeah, I like one thing is that when you're dealing with these types of transactional brands is how do we connect outside of the realm of finding how people identify with it. And what Kivo done like 100%, the brand idea done is that it decentralized itself to a specific age group. You can feel the direction of where it's going. It appeals to most of the people that are trying to find very facilitated way of transitioning and transacting. So honestly, on my end, I don't have much questions with it. You put it very well, and it was immaculately put down. And kudos to you. That is fantastic stuff. So just on the line. Okay, wait. I think we have a message here. Let's see. Okay. You guys, like from what I was able to understand is that all the products that you guys are building and putting in together, you guys have put your stories in it. You've already completed the first half. You get into the technicalities of the design and what you want, but the soul of the product is what's the most important part and how you transform it. And the questions that come sort of like from the crowd, right? It's how you're able to, if you understand the core soul of your product, how it is, what you want it to become, it's easy for you to diffuse and get people to trust and follow your rhythm of thinking. Like our last brand that was put up, from the speaking, from the notion, from the diction, it was easy to say, I'm going to attach myself to this, yeah, because I have an understanding. So it's how you combine all the key steps together that make your brand scale. So just a second. Okay. All right. This here is now where we go into the technical sides, and it includes one of my own personal brands that I'm working on now. Hopefully I could get some insight on that. Okay, first principles, guys, is the most fundamental thing. You can use it in any position that you're in, be it building a startup or sort of building a brand identity or thinking in general. First principles is something I always imply. So how can I find out what I want? How can I solve a problem? I break it down to its most fundamental aspects. Okay, like the bone of it. Okay. So, okay, wait. Okay, we're on first principles, right? So when you remove everything right now, we started from the, I think, the bottom up, not from the top going down. We stripped down our product, our brand into everything apart from the design. We didn't go into the design aspect fully, but we went into the core transaction. We got to understand sort of, okay, this is what it's supposed to be. The design part comes naturally. It's quite difficult, but it comes naturally if you know what your core transaction is. Is it helping people through AI? Is it spreading awareness? Is it making it easy for people to connect globally? These are the three ideas you get like from the brand. And sometimes you can combine everything. So you strip it down to its most fundamental aspect. This is why we start off with a blank canvas. Sometimes you're going to find designs out there. I mean, AI does everything fast, but it's hard to kind of resonate with your soul and your idea of what you want. That's why you'll always find yourself restarting, changing colors and everything like that. But the most important thing that I've learned in my time of building brands is that you will change your logo throughout the tenure. It's going to be the process of doing it. You're going to definitely change your logo. But it doesn't change the soul of it, what you want. Okay. Logo can either get fancier, it can become terrible, but what remains is what you're looking for in the brand, what it's speaking. I've changed like the Gap. I ran Gap for I think 6 years, if I'm not mistaken, before I created Mindstream. And I started the company when I was 17 years old. And imagine, 17 years old, back then there was no chat GPT. It wasn't as fancy as luxury. So everything was, built in together into those small pieces. So ideally, the brand changed. At some point in time, the colors changed and the process changed, but it grew along steadily, right? But the core transaction was always been the same. I want to help young people, but the identity of the brand changed and kind of morphed with it moving down. So these are the most important things if you remove it, right? And you can combine different core transactions. It's this, I think, oh yeah, I think we have a hand. Yeah, please shoot.
Yeah, so I just had a quick question. Could you
Okay.
tell me the difference between a brand and a business?
A brand and a
A
business.
brand, yeah,
Okay.
I'm a little confused. Yeah.
All right. Fundamentally, these two things appear to be interconnected. They are to a certain extent, but your business is what you function, what you do, right? Basically, your basic transactions. If you're in AI, that is your business, how it functions. Your brand is the face of your business, what people see. It's like the first impression, okay? It's kind of like the culture and the spirit, the soul, the non-practical part of your business is your brand. This is what you sell to the audience to kind of build a relationship with them. Okay. So your business would be, if we were to put it in the most practical sense, business would be hard skills. Okay. And brand would be soft skills. This is basically like the leadership, the emotional aspect of it, the relationship, the quality. That is your brand. I give you an example, is that people know Nivea because Nivea is soft on the skin, right? The word Nivea highlights high quality skincare, right? But the actual business is selling lotion, as an example, building, manufacturing, and that whole process. So think of the brand as the soul, okay, and the first impression people get when they're coming into you to work with you. And then think of the business as the body, the one that does the heavy lifting, that kind of moves everything around. I'm not sure if I was able to respond to you. Is it clear? It's all good? Okay. So, yeah, shoot. I think I have one question. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so Keith, one student asked a good question in the chat.
Okay.
How can we make our business a brand?
How can we make our business a brand?
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic question yet again. So it's very simple. And it's actually where we are right now. How can we make the business a brand? It's the core transactions. These core transactions and core values, these are the true aspects that actually make it become what it is. Because I think the best example I can think of to give you is Apple. Okay. When you're buying Apple, what are you buying it for? I mean, Samsung can clearly do a better job. I'm an Apple lover, I'm not gonna lie. But when you look at Apple, you look at a whole story. Okay? You look at the history, you look at everything that embodies it, right? You know the business, you know how it works. You think about the ad campaign that they've done, think different. It takes you to say, I want to be different. Apple is like a niche. If I use Apple, then I'm high quality. Okay. So basically, you take your business, you instill core transactions in it, right? In the example of the health app, the core transaction is that it's fast, it's efficient, and it's done, right? And the core value there is that I will take care of you even when you can't take care of me. And that becomes a whole story that connects the business and makes it a brand. You're now known for taking care of your consumers. You're known for being fast. So this transition occurs when you're able to combine a core transaction, which is a service that you're offering, and at the same time, a core value. These things that they come into one being, and the business becomes a brand. And it's fascinating that I don't know if you guys have noticed. I don't know if anyone has watched Apple's keynotes, but every time Apple starts a keynote, they will not tell you why they're better than Samsung, right? They'll never say we're better than Samsung because of this, this, and this. What they'll tell you is a core transaction. We have created this revolutionary piece of AI. I don't know what AI they're on, maybe iOS 100. I really don't know. But we've created this revolutionary piece of AI, right? That's how they start, core transaction. And then they'll go into core value. We have been with you since 2013, making sure our clients come first and you come first. And you understand? So they kind of balance out both core values, core transactions, and they make it a cyclical nature. Thus now the whole business is identified as a brand. That's how you combine both of them. Okay. I hope it's clear. Does everything make sense? I think,
That's great. Thank you so much.
yeah, connecting our solutions to local people makes it real, a real brand. That too. Okay. Your solutions must help people, and it builds value with people to say that these solutions actually help me. And then just like that, you've created a whole brand that people can rely on. When they come to you, they see what you do and how you do it. And these two things combine and make your business either viable, scalable, or trustworthy. Because people buy with their eyes. It's very important. And this is by far one of the most important aspects. I don't know if I can stress enough, is that people buy with their eyes. You see before you feel. So you kind of need to make sure that what they're seeing can relate to how they're feeling. Because you can look at a terrible piece of bottle that is very durable, it's more important for you, but just because of how it looks, you will turn it down. So you got to be able to synchronize these two lines of thought. Does what my consumer seeing actually relay the quality that I want, right? Do I identify with what they're feeling as I solve their problems? Am I forming the connection? Critical questions you must ask as you build and move forward. So yeah, are there any other questions? I don't. Okay. Oop, all right. So my example here ties into something called lightning DNA. Why I was saying that these things you can, I'm not sure if it shows fully in the screen. No, it doesn't, right? But the most, opa, yeah, the most important thing is that these aspects and attributes, they can't be combined into one. You can use different names, different different meanings, but it's how you combine them. For example, the brand I was trying to create was Lightning DNA. From the name Lightning DNA, you don't understand why is he saying lightning in DNA, right? But the tagline, why I said it's very important, is that this company is working with skills, data, challenges, and a transformation loop. Lightning being fast, DNA meaning that the program is systematically designed to adapt with you. But you wouldn't understand this just from seeing the name, right? And you'd probably think it's some biotech or something like that, or it doesn't really fit the category of actual learning. So this is where it's important to sort of have the tagline involved in it. So you can bring up different names, luminous, it depends on how you feel, but how you tell the story moving forward is the most essential part, okay? So we have one important core lesson is that humans follow myth. Word of mouth spreads like wildfire, right? People people act based on, like, people have herd mentality. I'll make an example. If I go to a store and everyone goes to the store, I think, wait, we have a question. Can the tagline be a series of words instead of phrases like that? Yeah, of course, it can be. It can be. Your tagline can be three words that are different, but that relate different aspects of what you're doing. For example, I'm not sure when we were working with the war on AI concept, we got to understand that you can say the three core values like trust, respect, loyalty. That can be a tagline. This is a core value that you're giving up. So you can choose. It doesn't have to be a long sentence, but you can break it down into the important aspects. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think we have another question. Let me just check this out. Okay, no other question. Okay. All right. So moving on. So like I was saying, everything is word of mouth. People believe more in myths than they do in actual seeing. So if everyone is buying from a specific area, it's easy for it to kind of grow within that area. So people will always follow crowds. It's a herd mentality that I've come to realize, where everyone is buying one specific product, everyone is going to go there. So where everyone, you just need a couple people to back your brand, believe in your brand, and then it spreads like a wildfire. If everyone is consolidated on your brand for affordability, quality, and everything, just know that everything is there. Okay? Everything is there. And it takes us to the exact same stage where we are now. A great brand reframes the user's identity. This is something we've been talking about throughout this whole process of our discussion, is that it shows who you are. It puts you into that position. So when they look at your brand, they're looking directly at you. The logo, the design, the appeal is there, but they're looking directly at you. Okay. Are you keeping your promise? Your promise to what you're providing and your promise to your consumers that at every given time, you can trust me. And this takes us back to the Apple example. Everyone went to Apple, I think 1989, 1970 was the top of the top, was because in a time where everyone was restricted from thinking however they wanted to think, Apple decided to say, Apple is where you can think different. Just that key line, that tag word made a revolution that everyone started to go in. Apple meant that I was different, I was cool, I didn't need to fit in. That's what they sold. That's what your brand is going to do also. It's going to sell off the value that you want. I think we have a question. Let's see. Just a quick question. Can a tagline? Oh, is there a question? Or am I seeing things? Wait, sorry. No, I don't think. Sorry, I thought there was another question. So basically that. Okay. So you make use of every single aspect that you can in building and formulating your brand and making it a strong point. So, do we have any questions on the slide? Okay, wait. I don't think so. No. All right. Let's see. So, okay. Just a moment. Okay. All right. It seems like I'm running short on time, so I'm gonna share the slides with everyone, by the way. And I want to say the most important part. Okay. Wait, just a moment. Okay. Okay. Guys, just to sharpen up everything and close off, it's very important that when you're building your brand, these are going to be the key pillars that you're going to follow. Okay. Your vision, that's your dream, what you believe in, what you're trying to formulate into this world. That is the most important stage, right? It doesn't have to be fancy. It comes off of a plain canvas and you make it beautiful, right? And then we go into stage two. This is your emotional promise. What are you trying to give out there? What is your core values? These are the things that make your brand grow. It gives it life. Okay, it takes it out of the canvas and gives it color. And then we go into the core transactions. What do we do better than the next brand? Are we fast? Do we exhibit high quality? Okay. And then we go into the mid statement, which is basically what my brand says about me. Is it myth that everything that surrounds me? What is it exactly? Okay, I think, yeah. Does a team and a small offers can be a brand that aligns all these things? Yeah, a brand can essentially be built in any space, anywhere. It's all about how you portray it. You don't need, and I always say this, you don't need to start off fancy. You don't need all those high details on your brand. You make it, you breathe life into it based on the key transactions that you go for. Okay, your visuals of it, what you see, your tagline, what it says about you. These are the things that kind of formulate and make your brand one, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. All right. So I think, guys, I've spoken too much. I've had fun. It's been a blast. And I'd like to say you guys are the future of everything. Quite a bright crowd. So thank you for your time. And I'll be sure to send the slides in case anyone is going to need them. So I had a fantastic time and thank you very much.
I'll chime right in. I'm so sorry, you guys. I've been missing in action, but I was on the headphones throughout, but attending multiple meetings on the side. Thank you so much, Keith. Oops, I lost you there. I'll let you take a breather because we need you back for the group photograph. Sorry. But thank you so much for doing this for us. I think what we needed as part of this particular session was to give them an international perspective to the fellows. To the fellows who were a part of the two fellowships that we're running simultaneously, but I guess you've set the tone right for what a brand is. They keep hearing about brand, create your own brand, create your personal brand, create your business brand, but what actually encompasses it, that is something that was something that we wanted them to learn as part of the fellowship as well. The slides would be really, really helpful, but I guess because you come in with an international perspective and you run your own tech-based startups as well and multiple such initiatives, and we both are working closely together as well on something fantastic that's going to come up hopefully soon.
Yeah.
So we are really excited about that. But thank you so much. I think on behalf of everyone, specifically Mazen, I really, really appreciate you being really interactive and engaging. So he's one of the team leads, but it felt like he was a fellow himself, in
Yeah,
that in
definitely
his headspace and
pretty
just
amazing.
looking. And then
I'm
all
looking
all
forward.
of the others as well. Yeah. Go
Yeah, I'm
ahead.
looking forward to that, the health app and all the developments you made here. And like I said, a fantastic crowd, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to more. It's a brilliant bunch of fellows, as I can see, and really great stuff.
Yeah, no, we'll have you back for the final pitching day as well as a judge on the other side. So thank you so much, everybody. We are now the group photograph ready. So those of you who want to open up your cameras, quickly do so. I'm gonna just have a minute, 30 seconds left. So there you go. All righty, everyone. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. I guess that's about it. The rest are shy enough. I'm not opening up their cameras, but no worries. Thank you so much. The recording will be available for this session. Just feel free to go through it. Keith is on LinkedIn, so feel free to reach out to him. Just look at his area of work, how he's working for, and what is an international footprint. I think it will be an inspiration for all of you as well. He's just graduated also, so he's not very very old than most of you guys. So do connect and share ideas where you can. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Bye.